Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and today all XRP holders should feel a lot of redemption, because what Brad Garlinghouse has been saying for the past year or two about China controlling the mining of Bitcoin, and now what you're seeing with this Bitcoin Cash fork, what's being exposed right before your eyes is the defect in these mineable digital assets. And in my opinion, the reason that XRP was created the way it is created. It was created to improve upon the defects. These Bitcoin people are now having infighting and all sorts of things. You're seeing over the weekend, you've seen Craig Wright. He's having a freak out session because he knows that their weakness has now been exposed. And all of the talk about how that's centralized and the others are not is just talk. XRP is just as decentralized as Bitcoin, if not more, because the mining can be controlled. And now you have these forks and you're watching all these fights break out, and then they're turning around and they're trying to attack XRP. And why are they trying to attack? Because they feel the threat. They know that the greatest digital asset ever created is upon them. But that's not what I want to talk to you about today. What I want to talk to you about today is the even bigger picture. I have talked about the new asset class label that digital assets are getting, and how important that is. But I haven't ever really taken you through history so that you can really, truly see how important it is. It's just been the digital asset investor talking. Well, today, I'm going to show you how historical the moment that you are in terms of how you can change the lives of your family, your children and your grandchildren, and your family that you live with right now. Even if you have no children, you can change. This is the opportunity to change your life in the here and now. So here we go. First, I want to start by showing you. This is not just me talking. This is FidelityDigitalAssets.com, the institutional solutions for a new asset class. Okay, and I've said this before, but we have a lot of new subscribers. I used to be a financial advisor, and as a financial advisor, when we went and met with potential clients, we were taught that you present them the asset classes and you allocate their assets based on their risk tolerance and other factors at their state due to their stage of life. So a retiree may be heavier weighted and less risky asset classes, whereas someone who's just beginning their working career is going to be weighted more in the riskier asset classes, such as stocks, because they have more time until retirement, and so they can take some risks that an older person wouldn't take. Well, what turned me on to digital assets in the first place, what really got me, was when I looked at this and I really thought, well, if this is ever called an asset class, and I heard a few people refer to it as such, but if it's ever really called an asset class, everything changes. And now I'm going to show you why and how significant this is. And I'm not just going to say it and tell you from my perspective. I'm going to show you history and show you how important this moment is for you. Okay, moving along. So I've shown you this before. This is the asset classes: equities, real estate, cash equivalents, commodities, fixed income. You can now add digital assets to this mix. But what I want to show you is how monumental the fact that you own XRP, which is the best digital asset, and how monumental it is that this is the addition of a new asset class. You own the best one of this new asset class. You're being added to this mix. But how long have these been around? Just how big of a deal is this? Well, let's look at stocks first. Did you know that the first stocks were issued in 1602 by the Dutch East India Company? You probably studied that in school. I did. It was issued, the first shares were issued on the Amsterdam Stock Exchange. It was the first company to issue stocks and bonds. It was renamed the Amsterdam Bourse and was first to formally begin trading in securities. 1602, people. Okay, well, let's look at gold. Egyptians and gold. When was gold? The gold, we're just using gold for commodities. Egyptians and gold. The first firm evidence we have of human interaction with gold occurred in ancient Egypt around 3,000 years before Christ. Gold played an important role in ancient Egyptian mythology and was prized by pharaohs and temple priests. The Egyptians also produced gold maps, some of which survive to this day. 3000 BC. Let's look at bonds. The first official government bond, the first ever government bond, was issued by the Bank of England in 1693 to raise money to fund a war against France. The first bonds were a mix of both lottery and annuity. 1693 bonds were issued for the first time. Now let's look at cash and cash equivalents. China. The first country to print paper money was China. Paper currency was a natural progression of things to come because of the Chinese block printing. It started with the Tang Dynasty, 618 AD to 907 AD. The paper currency was known as flying money. That's what they ought to call it now with the Federal Reserve and printing the way they do. Flying money. It's flying out the window. And so now we look back at these asset classes, and to sum this up, you own XRP, the greatest digital asset ever created. But you also own XRP, the greatest investment opportunity since 1693. That's the last time, that's bonds. 1693 was the last time that a new asset class was created. Think about that for a moment. Because now I want to show you just a few of the amounts of money that are in some of these, just a handful. This, I talked about him yesterday. Go to stedas.hr. He puts out great graphics. Status Design is, I don't know what his exact name is, but anyway, go to his website. He's got some awesome graphics about Ripple XRP. But here he shows you just a snapshot. And remember, he did this back in, that's February of 2018. So the market for crypto was 370 billion then versus like 175 or 178 billion now. Okay? 178 billion. The top 10 billionaires have 680 billion. Coins and banknotes, so I would say cash and cash equivalents, 7.6 trillion. Stock markets globally, $73 trillion. Global real estate, which we didn't cover on these asset classes. I did not talk about real estate because real estate as an asset class obviously began on the day that the earth and the world was created, because it was the real estate under our feet. Real estate has $217 trillion in it. So when you look, when you hear all these people and all these people online and on Twitter and in the news media trying to scare you about digital assets, when we're sitting here at 172 billion and you're in the first new asset class since 1693 and you're in the best one of the batch, just laugh it off, because it's all coming in due time. Just a matter of time. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family that XRP is the greatest investment opportunity since 1693. Thanks for listening.